Welcome back, I'm Brandon the HBAR Bull. This week we have an exchange that will assist in the growth of the Hedera DeFi ecosystem, some exciting CBDC developments, and more pieces putting Hedera at the heart of ESG markets. We'll talk about the struggling HBAR and broader markets, but regardless of what's happening there, as Jordan Fried said, now's the time for building, and that's exactly what the Hedera ecosystem is doing. I do some contract work for the HBAR Foundation, but the opinions in this video are my own. With that all said, let's get it. So HBAR was just listed on a new exchange. It's called the Woo Network, formerly Woo Trade. I hardly hold any other tokens besides HBAR, but actually I do hold some Woo because I picked it up at one point. I liked their platform, and I put it in a wallet, and it's been there ever since. I have a little bit of ETH as well for sending USDC around. We know about the ETH fees, but Woo is one of the few tokens that I hold outside of HBAR. Their business model is a bit complicated. I'm sure you can find some good information on YouTube about how their business model works, but it allows them to have zero trading fees. So that's certainly nice. They have a focus on providing deep liquidity by connecting traders, exchanges, institutions, and DeFi platforms, and they have all kinds of products wrapped up in all that kind of stuff. It's great to see such an innovative platform listing HBAR. We need all the on-ramps that we can get. One thing about Woo, though, it's not available in the United States. There's a few jurisdictions where it's not available, but it is available most places in the world, so you can try it out. You can click on that trade on Woo, and it'll give you a warning if you can't trade there. But again, it's great to see such an innovative platform listing HBAR. The HBAR Foundation tweeted that they're excited to join forces with the Woo Network, who will be providing best-in-class liquidity to DeFi applications built on Hedera. This liquidity is essential and will enable the DeFi ecosystem to flourish. It sounds like Elaine, the director of ecosystem at the HBAR Foundation, has a lot more planned for Woo than just another exchange. Another exchange, MEXC Global, just listed HBAR a few hours ago. They're working closely with the HBAR Foundation to help support HTS markets, and we know how critical secondary markets are for the Hedera token ecosystem. I really like how both of these exchanges are not just on-ramps, but they're being added to address specific needs in the Hedera space. MTech is at it again. On May 5th, they held a CBDC proof of concept showcase. Just to recap, MTech, led by Carmel Cadet, is a US-based central bank digital currency infrastructure provider. MTech joined forces with HaitiPay, a fintech company in Haiti, to demo its first CBDC fintech proof of concept and showcase the impact it could have on the Haitian economy. As many in the developing world leapfrogged telephone landlines and went straight to cell service, Haiti might just use Hedera to leapfrog into a new era of digital cash infrastructure. Carmel Cadet said, "In joining forces with HaitiPay, we aim to show how digital cash infrastructure enables the central bank to integrate much more easily with regulated fintechs to power the digital and inclusive economy." MTech's CTO Tabor Wells added, "We have developed an architecture that makes the Haitian CBDC accessible to every Haitian around the world. It looks to me like Hedera-based CBDCs are progressing just fine." All right, so one of the things that I wanted to cover today is the Hedera Network Explorers. You have a few different choices out there. The first one that I wanted to cover is Kabuto. Kabuto is operated by Immutable Holdings. We all know Immutable Holdings from Jordan Fried. The thing that I like about this is how they present their balance information. It's easy to find either on mobile or on your computer. It's right here at the top. This is the HBAR Staking with Stater account, and you can see there's 444 million HBAR total value locked. Plenty of demand for HBAR staking, that's for sure. And this is midweek. We're probably not going to be putting this out for a few days. That number is always growing. But again, real good presentation of their balance on this one, and I check it fairly often. The next one I wanted to go over is Dragonglass. Dragonglass is operated by Drop. That's the micropayments platform that we've heard about recently. The thing that I like most about Dragonglass is their dashboard. All kinds of good information here. We have total transactions, total accounts created. You have the HBAR price. You have transaction volume. I've looked at this an awful lot. Hopefully, we're going to get some more eyeballs on that soon as the transaction volume goes up. Over here on the left, you have some of the HTS tokens that we have out there. You'll see JAM, you see USDC, HBAR, and HBAR Suite. I want to get those guys back on here as soon as we can. We have Saucer Swap. They have a fair amount of transactions. They have almost 1,500 transactions today, and they haven't even launched. So hopefully they're going to be putting a lot of HTS transactions on the network when they do launch, hopefully before too long. So great dashboard here, easy information right at your fingertips. The next one I wanted to touch on, I've used this a lot historically, but they've lost some functionality recently, and that's hash.info. They were really good with historical data for a long time, but we've lost some of the functionality, like I said. So for historical data, I would actually defer back to Dragonglass at the moment. We have a new kid on the block as well. This is HashScan. This is coming out of Swirlds Labs, so it's run by Lehman. I think this one's going to be mainly for developers because I think it's going to have some really rich data, good APIs, all that kind of stuff. But you can see they have live crypto transfers, so you can see all that kind of stuff popping up, smart contract calls, HCS messages, all the way down the line. But I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of great stuff coming out of Swirlds Labs, and this is one of the first things. But either way, get to your Explorers and see what's going on the network. You have plenty to choose from. So back in December, we covered that much of the management was going to be moving from Hedera to Swirlds, and this was just made effective on May 1st. Here's a clip of an interview I did with Mance explaining the move. But in addition to the move to open source, there's a restructuring around the Hedera leadership. What are these changes and why was this done?
Yeah. Also, I think it's important to go back to 2017 and understand the reasons for the decisions we made back then. From the very beginning, when we designed the council, we designed it to be the most decentralized governing body of any of the layer ones. And I think we accomplished that. We accomplished it pretty much. I mean, obviously, we started with one member, that being Swirlds. And then the first major update to that was in February of 2018. 2019, February of 2019, okay, when we went from 1 to 5. And so we had pretty good governance decentralization pretty early, and then it has grown, and we're at 25 today. But we also understood, back in 2017, that there needed to be a staff to bootstrap all of this, and it would be difficult given the maturity or lack of maturity of the community and the market to recruit the kinds of global organizations that we thought we needed in the council into an organization that had 0 employees. How do you do that, right? It was already going to be hard enough to get them to join us without having to go through the understanding of there are no employees, and this is a fully decentralized operations team, not just decentralized governance.
Sure.
So we started from the beginning with a plan to change over time, or at least giving ourselves the flexibility to do so if we thought it was the right thing to do at any point in the future, and that time has come. And so governance has been decentralized, and operations is now decentralized. Of course, there's an early step there with the foundation when a large number of employees left Hedera and went to the foundation, and others, from the exec team have left and created their own startups or have gone to other organizations. They've joined other organizations to continue growing the ecosystem and the market for Hedera. And now we've taken this final step to just decentralize operations. And so what does that mean? That means what you probably have seen in the press release. Lehman and I and the team are moving over to Swirlds. And Lehman continues to be prominent in tech. He continues to chair TechCom, the technical steering committee. And there will continue to be work. Obviously, the code continues to be developed. That doesn't change. None of that changes. and it's just a decentralization of operations.
Mance and Lehman are now co-CEOs of a new subsidiary of Swirlds called Swirlds Labs, and we have already covered one of their products in the HashScan Explorer. The development and management teams are also going to move over to this new organization. In addition to the technical steering committee that Mance mentioned, Lehman is going to continue to chair the Treasury Management and Token Economics Steering Committee. Of course, the council representatives will still perform their governance duties, but some positions including the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Information Officer, General Counsel, and the Chief Compliance Officer will remain at Hedera full-time. Brett McDowell will also continue to serve as the chair of the Hedera Governing Council and its board of directors. With HBAR Foundation support, Tamuwa, a company specializing in the conversion of agri-waste into renewable alternative fuel sources, is launching Sync.io on the Hedera network. Tamuwa is the first company in Africa to receive a grant from the HBAR Foundation Sustainable Impact Fund. The social cost of carbon is currently set by the U.S. government at $51 per ton of CO2, while the current price of the Market Global Carbon Index for compliance markets is trading at $48.78. The price of carbon credits in the voluntary markets have been trading at a fraction of these prices given the oversupply and the lack of trust. Nature-based offsets, which traded at an average price of below $5 up until June of 2021, nearly tripled in value by the start of 2022. This is still underpriced, with prices of VERs predicted to increase sharply according to a recent report by Bloomberg. Leveraging technology to capture key data which provides traceability will help accelerate the increase of price for voluntary carbon credits. Sync.io aims to digitize voluntary carbon markets to provide high-quality, transparent carbon credits while directly connecting sellers to buyers on the highly efficient Hedera network. Tamuwa's launch of Sync on Hedera will bring high-quality VERs to carbon markets, which will drive value to both buyers and sellers of these traditionally opaque environmental assets. Sync will leverage Hedera's low and predictable transaction fees to facilitate participants across the ecosystem, connecting producers and end users of VERs with full transparency and trust. So I know there's a lot of pieces and parts to all of this. The SIF is hitting on all cylinders and seem to announce things every few days. We're going to try to put together a infographic to show how all these things fit together, but it looks like the HBAR Foundation is certainly trying to put Hedera at the heart of all these ESG markets. The time might get tweaked a little, but we're planning a Twitter Spaces AMA with some of the HBAR Foundation brass at noon Eastern, Wednesday, May 11th. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that the community would want answered in this kind of open forum. We're also planning something else pretty big, but I don't want to give any specifics until it's firmed up. This past week, we did an interview with Rob Allen and Katrina Dowd to dig into another piece of the Hedera Sustainable Impact ecosystem called Trustry. Trustry is being developed by Katrina's company, Miko. We also posted a how-to guide on associating HTS tokens to the Walla Wallet and Decent mobile wallets. Here's a clip showing how you can associate HBARX to Walla Wallet. Enter the wallet and click on the account you would like to associate HBARX to. Tap the account again on the next page and you will be brought to this page. Tap Associate Token at the bottom of the page. On the next page, tap in this field and enter the HBARX creation account 0.0.834116. Now tap Associate Token with Account at the bottom of the screen. A fee summary will pop up. Click OK. You will be taken back to your wallet page and HBARX should be listed among the associated tokens. Here's the account number for your wallet. You've just successfully associated the token. If this process doesn't work, enter the settings and make sure that the fee account has been set up, and try again. If you want to know how to associate HTS tokens like HBARX to Decent, or how to send tokens from Hashpack to a mobile wallet, check out the full guide. The link will be in the description. With HBAR sitting at about 13.5 cents, down 16% on the week, it's been a struggle, but it's been a bloodbath in risk assets in general this week. Right after the Fed announcement on Wednesday, markets rallied, but gave up all those gains and then some as the market digested on Thursday and Friday. HBAR sitting around the low from last summer, which seemed to offer some support but may have flipped to resistance. 10 cents should offer some support, and I think any dips below will be bought just because value investors might like the idea of picking up HBAR in the single digits. We'll see what happens at the 14-cent mark, and 19 cents would be the target if we break out. With Bitcoin sitting at about 36,000, I would have hoped we would have been a bit higher, but HBAR has a lot of company getting a bit banged up, and it's not just the crypto markets. Coinbase is down 76% from the peak, Peloton is down 91%, and Netflix is down 74%. HBAR is supposed to be a crazy volatile altcoin, but next to some of these stocks, HBAR looks in line, being down 77% from its own peak. Still, it's not fun to go through these drops. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's still my base case that crypto markets will struggle over the next 12 to 18 months, but I could certainly be surprised. I'm very encouraged by how much is being built in the ecosystem, and that's what builds real value. Sivo, Twitter handle @ParabolichBAR, had a great Twitter thread on why he's still bullish on HBAR that included some words from Jeff Bezos that I thought was worth including.
Because the stock is not the company, and the company is not the stock. And so as I watched the stock fall from 113 to 6, I was also watching all of our internal business metrics, number of customers, profit per unit, everything you can imagine, defects, etc. Every single thing about the business was getting better and fast. And so as the stock price was going the wrong way, everything inside the company was going the right way.
I think similar quotes will live in Hedera history as well. I've gotten some questions about how to stay up to date on Hedera information, and besides staying tuned to this channel, following the @Hedera and @HBAR_Foundation handles on Twitter is a good start. Also, the HBAR Foundation blog is a good resource. And if you would prefer to engage a bit, the HBAR Foundation Telegram channel might be for you. Thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you appreciate this content.